But let me come back to my experience with forgiveness. And I want to suggest to you that healing of memories is always on the table. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that always there's the issue of me dealing with my stuff, me dealing with the things that have happened in my life journey, me struggling to find meaning, me struggling to find a way of, the word I think I used at the end of the DVD, of detoxifying, of vomiting out the poison, dealing with stuff that we have extremely good reasons to feel, but if we keep them inside of us, they destroy us. So finding the way of being able to do some, letting go. So that's always there for all of us, all the time, throughout our life journey. But of course, sometimes, people are often stuck in these whirlpools for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And often try the journey of burying. Nations try and do it. Let's see if we can bury and forget. It's the preferred historic option after horrible things have happened. It just happens never to have worked, anywhere. But forgiveness. What about forgiveness? Now, often when I tell my story, and I'll say, I got this letter bomb back in 1990, I'm not full of hatred, I'm not bitter, and I don't want revenge. It's a kind of mantra that I've come to say, and it's true. And then a nice person will stand up at the end and say, thank you very much, you made a wonderful speech, you're such a wonderful example of forgiveness. So, oh, excuse me, but I didn't actually mention the word forgiveness. What I would want to say is that because I don't know, even as I'm here today, who sent me that bomb, I don't know who gave the orders, I don't know the chain of command. And when I got the bomb, there was no note that said, excuse me, we're just explaining to you why we're going to kill you. There was the note, or maybe the note disappeared in the bomb, I'm not sure, but certainly there was no note. So for me personally, forgiveness is not on the table yet. I don't know what it means to forgive an abstraction. If you know, feel free. I mean, carry on. I don't know what I don't know what that means. But as I said, that doesn't mean I'm not on my journey. Because otherwise that would mean for 22 years I was completely stuck in that event. If my healing was dependent on knowing or the people coming forward, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in South Africa searching for those people. So I do, however, have a speculative conversation, and I emphasize speculative, with those who sent the bomb. And the reason I emphasize speculative is because speculative is about here, but if they are there at the door, then it's not speculative. It's not just a mind thing. I'm there in the fullness of my humanness. So let's say I get back to Cape Town, knock on the door. I'm the one who sent you the bomb. Will you forgive me? Well, forgiveness is now on the table. How do I respond? Yes, no, not yet. Or, excuse me, sir, do you still make letter bombs? He says, no. Actually, I work at the local hospital. Will you forgive me? Yes, sir, I forgive you. And I would prefer that you spend the next 50 years working in that hospital because I believe 1,000 times more in the justice of restoration than the justice of punishment. But then perhaps we would sit and drink tea, say, well, sir, I've forgiven you, but I still have no hands. I still only have one eye, my eardrums are still damaged. I will live forever with the consequences of what you did. I'll always need someone to assist me for the rest of my life. Of course, you will help pay for that person. Not as a condition of forgiveness, but as part of reparation and restitution in the ways that are possible. A couple more things to say about forgiveness. I think especially in the faith community, it sounds harsh, but it's true, is that out of good motivations, nice church people often tell hurting people they should forgive, and they use forgiveness as a weapon against hurting people. People who are crying out for their pain to be heard and to be acknowledged. And you should forgive. And we increase their burdens. We make it even greater. Instead of shutting up and giving the loving embrace, we preach another little sermon saying, and you should forgive. Having said that, for many people, forgiveness can be eventually the key to their healing. And while it is true that the moral responsibility to initiate forgiveness lies with the perpetrator, moral responsibility, that I've met people all across the world who have been primarily the victim, who have chosen to forgive for the sake of their own freedom. People have said to me, I could not live with unforgiveness any longer in order that I may be free. So I like to think of forgiveness as a kind of healthy selfishness. But I think also, because it's one of our favorite words in the Christian tradition, we often speak of it as something glib and cheap and easy. And yet for most human beings, it's costly, it's painful, it's difficult. And I think sometimes, in the Christian faith, we talk about grace, the power of God. And I think often we need God's help to want to forgive, because we don't want to forgive, in fact. And yet it may be the key to liberation. Maybe the last thing to illustrate it, another dimension of this forgiveness conversation, is just to talk for a moment or two about bicycle theology. Mary, do you have that in PSI? Where's the director? Who's the director?
Right over here.
Do you have bicycle theology in PSI?
I don't know.
That's the sort of thing I would... Are you an Episcopalian? Is that the sort of thing... Oh, well. Who owns a bicycle? This is the week to own a bicycle.
It is.
Right, yeah. So my brother, you said you got a bicycle. Yes? Yeah. No, not Desi, the man in front of Desi. Yeah. No, here, my brother, yourself, yes. You say again your name?
Bob.
Pardon, Bob. So, Bob, today I want to come and kneel in front of you and tell you that I stole your bicycle, and I've just come to apologize. I'm going to kneel in front of you and say, I'm very, very sorry I stole your bicycle. Will you forgive me?
I would ask more about it.
But-
I'd like to think that I would eventually.
Okay, no, that's great. No, thank you. So eventually, it's going to take time, but eventually he'll forgive me, and I'll keep the bike. You see, we reduce forgiveness to saying sorry, and we don't return the bike. So what I'm suggesting to you is that reparation and restitution are part of the journey of forgiveness. And I invite you to make the connections in your personal life and the life of the nation and the life of the human family.